Hey guys, hope you're doing good. So today we have with us Sweety Jain, who just completed her product internship with Adobe. So she'll be sharing her experience, her preparation strategy, and basically why she chose product internship over a normal SD internship. So we'll just wait for a minute and then we'll get started. So till then, guys, if you guys have any doubt, yeah, you can post in the comments, and we'll be happy to answer those. And I hope the audio and video is clear line. You guys can hear it well. If you have any problem, then maybe you can comment. I'll look into it. Okay, so I think let's get started. So, Sweetie, why? Let's start with your introduction.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
So,
So let's start.
shall I?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Please introduce yourself. Yeah.
Yes, hello guys. This is Sweety Jain. So I have completed my product internship at Adobe on this Friday, and it's pleasure to share my experience with all of you. And I hope that it will be fruitful. This experience will be fruitful to you in some or other way. So where should we start with first?
So maybe you can tell us more about yourself, like in which college you are, in which year, something.
Yeah, sure. So I'm a pre-final student at NIT Surat, and I am pursuing electronics and communication engineering there. And I got internship at Adobe via my campus. That was an on-campus internship that I got at Adobe.
Okay, great. So let's start with your preparation strategy, or I would call like how basically you prepared for this internship interview.
So yes, I would definitely say one thing that is more important, means that is the key for a product internship, or maybe let's say any internship, that is data structures and algorithms. They just make the foundation for everything. So if you go for any of the techs, any of the technology, if you prefer to learn something new, you should have a basic understanding of data structures and algorithms. And all these companies, why they focus majorly on these topics is these topics allow them to examine yourself, since all the projects they are open ended, so there is not a rigid approach for going for selecting a candidate via projects, unless it is an outstanding project. So what is the basic thing that differentiates one candidate from other is your good knowledge of data structures and algorithms. So how I started with DSA is I started it during my second year of engineering. It's throughout my first year, I just got the knowledge from the all the seniors and everyone, like how should I start. And throughout my second year, I started it, and I started practicing it on Hacker Earth, Code Chef, Code Courses, and these are the websites, and of course GFG2. So where you can level up your coding skills, and giving regular contest on mock interview session, these are very helpful. And if I come to my internship strategy, how did I prepare for it is, so when we got the when we got the call for like Adobe's coming within 2 or 3 weeks to our campus. So what I did is I already prepared my notes on during my summers. I have prepared some notes of let's say few questions which I think that they are really very important, few algorithms that are really very important, that I would definitely come across. So those I have jotted them, and I started revising all of them since I didn't have much time. Like it was just a week that was left for me. So I started revising all the concepts and practice all the previous year problems that were being asked in Adobe, or let's say similar companies. And those questions which I find like they are easy, I'll just skip them. And those for which I find that they are just hard for me, I started giving 5 to 10 minutes to it to think for it, and then start to code for it. And let's say if I didn't get something, what I will do is I'll just look at the article, what approach they are they are specifying, and then I go through it like that. And since in the summers we were not sure that what company, I mean, we were sure that some companies are coming in within a campus, but Adobe, it has come for the first time in our campus. So we didn't have any pre-knowledge of it, that this company will come to our campus. So I had prepared for aptitudes from indiabigs.com, and prepared for mock interviews also. And then I worked on my resume, that how should your resume be formatted. And I would definitely, frankly, just say one thing, that I didn't have any projects till then. At that point of time, during my third year, I didn't have any of them during the start of the third year. So what I did is, what was my major goal was to just complete, means just to target on DS algo and concepts like DBMS, OS, OOPS. These were what which I targeted upon. And during my interview, what I came through is, and this is the one key learning that I got from my interview experiences, that there's nothing like you don't know. If you don't know anything, just say that you don't know it. Means it doesn't matter that you should know a particular thing or you should know that. What they want is, whatever you have mentioned in the resume, you should have a fair knowledge of that particular thing. So just mention those points which you are familiar with, or which you have a master knowledge of it. And I, so if I would switch on to my interview experience, how was it? It started with DS algo, and then moved on to questions of time complexities, string, and linked list, graphs, and then moving on to OOPS, concepts of OOPS. And since I had mentioned their C++ as my programming language, they asked me concepts of like virtual functions, what are virtual functions in CPP. So these are the things that I mentioned in my resume, and they were only being asked. So don't mention any such sort of thing that you don't have any idea about. Don't start to brag about yourself in the resume. It's just no, it's just a piece of paper which shows what have you done, and you should have a fair knowledge of it, whatever you are doing.
Yeah, so that was really valuable advice, that one should only mention what he knows well in the resume, because mentioning a lot is it will be very difficult. Like, it will be negative for you, and as interviewer can ask from anything which is mentioned in the resume, and if you can't answer that, that would create a negative
That would
impact.
be a negative impression, of course. It would.
Right, right. So that's really a valuable suggestion. So, do you have any suggestions for the students who would be starting, like who would be in second year or first year? How should they start with preparation of data structures? Like you mentioned, you started in the second year. So how you
Yes.
started? What resources you found useful? Basically, if you can guide them.
Yes, so I started with, we have contest in our college too. Like we have an Instagram community. They organize some contests. So I participated in them, and for the starters, I would mention that Hacker Earth is the best platform of it. For the starters, for the beginners, it's a best platform. Hagarat has a code monk series, so it has various problems from various difficulty levels, and within various topics. Like there are categories for string, there are categories for bit manipulation, so you can go through it. And then switching over to code check, and then code courses. So regular contests are necessary. I mean, if you start participating in regular contests, you will get the knowledge of how to start, means how to maintain balance between your code, means whatever the code you are doing, and maintaining the time, means how much time you are investing in your particular code. So it will
So,
definitely,
hello,
yes,
sweetie.
yeah,
So hold for a second. I think we are getting a lot of comments that the audio is not proper. I think there is some disturbance from your end. Can you please
yeah,
check?
just a minute.
Maybe it's a fan noise. I think so. If you are you using earphones? So I can't hear you at all now. Hello, hello, sweetie. Can you hear? You are on mute. Please unmute yourself. So, sweetie, you are on mute. You have to unmute yourself.
Hello.
Yeah, yeah.
Is it?
Now, is it now? It's better.
Hello. Okay. Okay. Sure.
Yeah, so I think it's
Yes.
better now. Maybe you can like start again with the answer because and the students were not able to hear. So maybe you can start again.
Yes. Sure. Yes. So a basic question for everyone is like how to get started with DSI. So for the beginners, I will definitely recommend that go through Hacker Earth. Hacker Earth has a code monk series and it has problems with various difficulty levels under various categories like bit manipulation. It has different category and it has particular problems. Hello.
Yeah, continue. Please continue.
Yeah, okay. And after that, and you can level up your coding skills and there's a one advice that participate in the regular contest, and that is it's obvious that you might not get any of the answers start in the start of the weeks, like in the starting weeks or maybe in the starting month you don't get any answers, not at all. So what you do is just be patient and work constantly on it. Just means just don't get disheartened by it, like you are not getting it or you're not getting the things. Definitely one day you will get it. It's just the pace that everyone has a different pace of getting along with things. So maybe you have a different pace or maybe you can get it later. So don't get disheartened with these things. And if you are in the first year of college or let's say second year of college, it's actually the best time to get started with competitive coding, because I'll say that I have been through means I have written tests for many of the companies, and what they are asking is basically your sound knowledge of data structures and algorithms. For third year students as interns, they just require that you should have a fair knowledge of data structures and algorithms, and whatever the rest it's better for you. I understand that, but yes, for the let's say for the for the starter test, what they require is if you let's say if you are good at ML and if you are not good at DS and algo, so what will you do? There's nothing left, because you will not be able to clear the level 1 or level 2 of the, or let's say the round 1 and round 2, and like you will be you will be get out of that particular company. So what you should do is prepare competitive coding very well, prepare your data structures and algorithms like very well. You should have a fair knowledge of it. There should not be things like you don't know this or you don't know that. And one key thing that I should want to focus upon is there are many students like they go through GFG articles and they know that what is the efficient approach of doing a particular problem. But while an interviewer asks you for a particular problem, what he or she wants is how you understand that particular problem. So your knowledge of DS algo, how it is being judged is a particular problem is provided to you. You have to understand what is this particular problem. You have to decode it. You have to come up with an algorithm that this can be used for solving this problem. And it is not at all necessary that it's an efficient algorithm. It is not necessary. So what they do is they'll give you a problem, you have to solve it. Then they'll say that is there any better way to do it? And if you know it, you can say that, yes sir, I can try it, and give me 5 minutes. Let's say in 5 minutes you don't get anything, just say that I don't know it. This is my approach, and I'm not pretty sure there may be efficient approaches, but yes, I don't for now, I don't know how to go with it. So and you can help, you can ask for the help of interviewer too. They are always ready to help, always they are very cooperative. Like you, that interview, it should be like a discussion sort of thing. It's not like they are asking and you are just saying no. It's a discussion, it's a discussion thing. And for the projects, if you have any projects or like those things, what you can do is they'll ask you regarding the projects, just say what you have, it's what you have done, and what are the things, and the things that are being asked is what you have done and what are the improvements that you can do in your project. These are the major things. So whatever project you mentioned, you should know what are the future enhancements that can be done in that particular project, so that they should understand that you have a fair knowledge of whatever you have implemented. And one more thing, projects are not necessary, but yes, if you add projects in your resume for the internship, it will be a plus point for you, of course.
Right, it totally makes sense because I agree with the point that basically, uh, which so I agree with the point that you mentioned that interview is a more of a discussion wherein you are being judged based on the what you know and what and not exactly what you don't know. So interview will always ask you from the thing which you mentioned the resume and not judge you based on the technologies
Of
or
course,
things which you have not mentioned. So this
of
is
course, of course.
yeah, so this is a great point. Now is basically I would like to know, like, the students are interested to know what exactly is product internship, what you have to do while when you are a product intern, and basically why you chose internship over the normal SD intern.
Yes. So for the students, I would definitely means they might be aware, like we all are crazy for product internships. Means everyone will prefer a product internship to an SD internship. So why is it that? Since I would say that I have interned with Adobe right now. So what is it is you're adding value to a product, and what is the motive behind it, or let's say what is the that particular point that drives me for that is that one day what will happen is whatever I have implemented or what I have been learning through these 2 months, it will be implemented one day on the product and I'll be able to see it. And this is the major point. Let's say within 2 or 3 years you'll be able to say that yes, I have helped them in implementing that particular thing, and you can show it on the website or on the application that yes, I have helped them regarding that problem. And it's obviously it's a surreal experience, like you are saying that you have added value to a particular product. And let's say for Adobe, it's a wonderful company to work with. So I would say product internships are really, means it depends on you what you like, but for me product internships are like really valuable, since means throughout from the day one of my internship I was always motivated by one thing, that whatever I'm doing for now is going to add value to this particular product, or let's say whatever the products it is integrated with. So
So
that is the only
so
motivation for me.
yeah, so you are mentioning that that by doing that internship you are adding a value to the product. So what exactly you mean? Like, basically I want you to tell the everyone that what exactly is your role, like being a product intern, what exactly you
Yes.
do, what how it
So
is different from normal SD intern, what normal SD
yes.
intern do, how it is different, what you do in product intern.
So, so for my, let's say my project was focused on Adobe Color. So what I did is I implemented a feature for them, and that is going to be integrated with other projects like Photoshop, Illustrator. So what we are doing is we are basically implementing features for our products. So this is what product internship is targeting about. It is focusing on developing or developing a particular service or a feature for their product. This is what they focus on.
Okay, okay, so it makes sense. So and basically would you also like to tell, like, were there any difference between the interview which was conducted for you, and if you know about the interviews for SD intern, like if anyone wants to prepare for the product internship, how are the interviews different?
Yes, so actually there is no such difference. I mean, I would say there is no such difference for SD or product internships. They are both same. You should have a sound knowledge of DS algo. That is for an intern. I will definitely say that this is like if you are a good coder, that's it. You can make it. And there is no such boundaries like this company or a particular product company or a different company. That doesn't matter at all.
Okay, so other than DSA, what other things one should know about, like, do they also ask core subjects or anything else?
Yes, but it depends actually. Since like they means I would say one thing like within my interview, I've been asked regarding operating systems, and till then I don't have any knowledge of operating systems. So what he asked me is, "Do you have any knowledge of operating systems before? Have you studied it?" So I just said, "Sir, I don't have any experience in this field. I haven't studied it at all." And he asked me, is it in your curriculum? So he was like, our curriculum for EC is different than comms. So there was no such thing in my curriculum. So I just mentioned, it's not, no, it's not in my curriculum. And after that, we switched on to other things. Means it's nothing like that you should know this or you should know that. What is the basic thing is for the comms student, I would say that operating systems, DBMS, they'll be asked because it is in your curriculum and they know it, that it is in your curriculum. So you should have a sound knowledge of it, of course. But let's say in my case, I was from an electronics background and I just mentioned it clearly that no, I don't have any knowledge. This was not in my curriculum, and he was okay with it. He proceeded to other things. That's fine. That's not at all a problem.
Okay, yeah, yeah. So that makes sense. Mentioning that you don't know about it, and maybe he'll ask you on the he judge you on the areas you are good at. So that's really a
Yes.
good thing. So were you also asked any puzzles or sort of things? Any
No,
puzzles?
not puzzles. Actually, it was totally focused on data structures, algorithms, and OOPS concepts. I would say yes, OOPS. And actually, I was being asked OS2 means I was asked like difference between multitasking, multi-threading, and I started to attempting them. So what he did it, he asked me further questions. So that is the problem that I am mentioning. What is it is, कि if you say something that if you start attempting, what they think is that you know this thing, so they'll ask different questions or let's say different ways for a particular problem. So after proceeding to let's say two or three questions, I said, sir, I don't know this part, like pretty much I'm familiar with the basics and not with high level. So he stopped that at that point, so it's fine.
Right, right. So also, okay. So before appearing for the interview for Adobe, did you also appear for any other company or?
Yes, I did appear. I appeared for JP Morgan Chase, D Shop, and Amazon. Yes, and mentioned that there were three companies before, and we had this fourth company.
Okay, so how are the interviews different, like from Amazon, and what is the difference between Amazon and Adobe? Or maybe if you want to tell, like, if after giving interviews of Amazon or Dshaw or even Adobe, there would have been some areas you would have like you found that you were lacking in those areas, and you should prepare well on those. So
Yes.
so
So for that, now I'll say that we have different rounds. So in Adobe, while interviewing for Adobe, we had just one round. Means that we had just one round. That is like totally HR technical round one, two. Everything was included in that particular round for everyone. And for other companies, let's say JP Morgan, D Shop, we have multiple rounds. So the level starts to increase as you start to go on from one round to another round. And for the
mhm.
HR round, means for the last the HR round, means I think the most thing that people lack is at HR round. Means they are one of my friends, he got interviewed in JPMC, and he was like really a good coder. He was the best, I would say. So what happened with him is in the HR round he failed. He was being rejected on the HR round. So I would definitely say just work on your communication skills too. Means you should know how to deliver your knowledge. You should have that understanding and how to communicate with people. Means how you are presenting your thoughts in front of someone, that is necessary. I mean that is a thing that is necessary.
Right. So before the actual face-to-face interviews, were there any online coding round as well for these Adobe or
Yes,
Amazon?
yes, yes. For every company, there is an online coding round first. And means at first we are being differentiated with the respect to a CG criteria. We had CG criteria that for a particular company requires CG 8, a cutoff is 8 or 8.5, or let's say 7, 7.5. And after that, we are asked to appear in the coding round, online coding round. And with that, it is followed by like those who are selected, they are being offered for interview rounds.
So for Adobe, how was the online coding round? Like what all did it comprised?
Yes, so it comprised of means it has different questions with language, matlab, language, let's say CPP or Java, whatever you choose. And for that, we have questions from, let's say, that was array based, I guess, array based, and there was no such dynamic program questions. Everyone is afraid of dynamic program. So like they were like array based, and we had this thing of like writing a pseudo code there, like writing a pseudocode for that. We have one question of writing a particular matrix in spiral order. So we were being asked to write a pseudocode for that. and at last we were being asked to write a that paragraph. It was sort of a paragraph on Internet of Things that was being asked. So actually it differs, means whatever the approach they are following in their test, it just depends on means you should go through the past articles which are being provided on GFG. They do help you, they will do help you.
Right. So were there any MCQ questions as well other than the coding
Yes, yes,
question?
yes. There were MCQ questions followed by two coding questions and then the pseudocode question, and at last we had a paragraph writing for IoT. That was around like 250 max words, 250 to 300.
Okay, right. So we have a question from a viewer that where can I learn practice MCQs which were
Okay.
being asked. So if you can like share like
Yes,
how to prepare for
sure.
these.
So for the MCQs now, what they are asking is in first year of colleges you might be learning C plus means C for basic C, like pointers and all those things, pointers, and we have things like malloc, alloc, like what जो भी data handling वाला everything part है ना, it is being covered there. Means they are whatever MCQs they are being asked is, it is just based on the basics of your computer science. It is nothing like hypothetical questions. They all are just based on your basics. They are just the basics, so you should go through. Means while we grow now we just forget the basics, so that is being asked there. Means everyone is afraid of pointers, how to deal with pointers, so they are being asked like typical questions of pointers. And for let's say one company there was DShaw, so it asked for DBMS, OS2. So it depends, it varies from company to company actually.
Right. So I would like to mention add here is that you should be very clear with the basics because like you if you ask me that specific website or specific resource to prepare for MCQs, there is no such
Yes,
place. You should
there
be
is
very
no
very
such place actually.
right. Right. So while studying the subjects in the academics, you should be like more focused, like the networks, computer networks, operating systems, and the programming language. So you should be very go into the very depth and try to understand the basics because this is where the interviewer will ask you from the core subjects and the MCQs will also be based on these concepts. So rather than
Yes,
running behind the resources book, what you should do is you should rather read the books to clear
focus.
your to clear your basic concepts. So
And
this
you
is
can go through GFG articles too. GFG has like particular section for MCQs, it has different section for MCQs of a particular topic, so you can go through it also. I mean, it will clear your basics. That
right.
is
So
just for
that's
testing purpose.
right. Yeah, that there you can like basically assess where do you stand and if you need more practice or if you need to read more. So that's where you
Yes,
can access yourself. So let's take up some other question. So
sure.
so what do they look in candidates during internship? Is there any difference in preparation for internships versus placements?
Yes, is there is a big difference for internships. For interns, what they want is they just want a person who has a sound knowledge in computer science. And how is it is being judged? It is being judged on basis of your knowledge of data structures and algorithms. Means I would say data structures and algorithms are enough to clear your internship rounds. That is like totally enough for you. But for the placements we are being required for having, means we should have projects in our hand that will what projects do is they showcase what is the practical implementation of your knowledge. If you're mentioning that you know JavaScript, if you're mentioning you know Java, so you should have done some projects on that. And the project should be like some maybe minor projects or some need to be a major project. That is like you should do it. That is, I would say, compulsory because everyone is doing it and it is actually required. Your projects are being discussed, you have a different round for discussing your projects while you are working for placements. For internships, if you have a project it is good, if you don't have it it's fine. It doesn't matter that much.
Yeah, so that clearly answers the question. So let's move to the next one. What is the work a product intern has to do?
So I have mentioned it earlier too that what what I did it as my project, and I think that answers that question.
Yeah. So please. share some aptitude. So maybe Arpit
Yes.
wants to know the resources which they can use for preparing for
Yes,
aptitude.
for aptitude, we have this website called indiabix.com. You can prepare from that, and RS Agarwal too. That is a book, RS Agarwal. You can go through, means it mentions the concepts, and for practicing, you can go through indiabix.com. It will work. It will be like helpful for you, and you can also for puzzles and also aptitude. You can refer GFG to. GFG is like one stop for you for everything. You should refer GFG for everything.
Right. So I am Akshat says I'm currently in fourth semester, and after a few months I'll be in third year. I didn't have completed any project. So what should I mention on my resume?
So what you should mention is what you know. Like if you know data structures algorithms, you should mention it. If you know operating system, you should mention it. If you know any programming language, like if you have done with C, C++, or Java, or if anything, HTML, CSS, anything, means it's a technical domain. Anything from technical domain that you know, you should mention it. And apart from that, like for things like whatever other things, whatever your achievements have been till now, you can mention that.
Right.
And if possible, actually I would say if possible, like, you should do a minor project actually. Like minor project means what, like implementing a particular, let's say, for learning oops, you should implement a small project that includes classes, encapsulation, everything of that particular sort. So what it will do now, it will just add value to your knowledge and also to your resume. Like
Right.
you have mentioned that you know Java, you know oops concepts, and now you have implemented it in your project. So the interviewing, he will be able to know that yes, this person has a sound knowledge of it. That like
And
it will
also,
definitely
and
add value.
yeah. So and also by doing a practical implementation in the form of project, you would be able
Yes.
to clear multiple doubts, and
Yes,
you will
you will
be
be able to clear your concepts. It means it's
yeah.
like that's a good thing actually. Doing minor projects also is good. Means you don't means if you're thinking like that I am mentioning a recommendation like for something like hotel recommendation, something that sort of things, or any desktop application, and like it's like not at all worthy. Don't hesitate. You should mention it. You have done something. You should mention it.
Right. So it need not be a unique idea or some sort of things, but
Yes,
the
because
motive here is that you have done something and
you
you
should
know how
have
to.
implemented, yes, because they
Right.
should know na, that you have implemented something, that you have a knowledge of this particular field. That is because if it is mentioned now, it will add value to your only your resume. Means it's not, maybe they won't ask at all. Maybe it is possible that like seeing your project, like it has been done by many of the people, so maybe they won't ask it, but adding it will definitely, maybe he can, like if he's short of questions from data structures algorithms or other topics, so what they will do is, in the meantime, what they will do is like, okay, let's talk about your project, what you have done in it, what technologies have you used, what are the languages you have used. And let's say you have said that I have used C++ in this particular project. So what they'll start is, they'll start discussing on C++, that what classes you, means let's say what are the classes, or what let's say where are oops concepts being implemented in this particular project. So these things actually, they will give a gist to that particular interview, that this person, he knows about the oops concepts, or he knows about C++ very well.
Right. Totally
Like
makes
you
sense.
should do project, I mean, if you have time, you should do it.
Right. So let's move to the next question. So how to increase thinking skills?
Okay, that, so that's a like thinking skills, I mean, it depends on you, like it depends on your area of interest actually. I mean, do what you love. That's the basic thing, and you should I love to work with Android, so I'm working with it. And after my third year, as I got intern, means before internship, I worked on this domain, but I didn't have anything to mention on my resume. So what I did is this: after getting the internship, I just started working on Android. So it depends. Your thinking skills now, it depends on your area of interest actually. If you love something, you will start to begin, means digging upon that particular concept, that how it is being done, how it is being done, and what are the things needed to be doing, means what are the things we need to do for this. So you should love what you do. That is the only thing to increase your thinking skills on a particular thing. That is actually, that is the key to increase your thinking skills. That's it.
All right. So let's move to the next question. So, Shweta wants to know. I have heard that Adobe only take on-campus intern. Did you had any off-campus intern with you?
So off campus interns, I would say actually maybe they would be like it depends on the referral, because I remember having a talk with my mentor regarding that. What he asked me first is, "Are you an off campus intern? Are you being referred?" So there are interns. I would say there are interns. They are being referred. Obviously, if
Uh,
they are asking, means there are interns that are being
right,
referred.
right. So, next question is: in which semester did you get this internship?
So I got this internship in my fifth semester, means around August. Yes, mid of August.
Okay. So students also want to know like when do the applications start? So basically, if they are starting with third year this time, so when should they start applying off campus or in which month? If you can tell
Yes,
them.
so after July, means let's say the August is coming, right? So after mid of July, you'll start, means just open LinkedIn, Glassdoor, all these websites, and search there that what are the vacancies are there for the interns, and for let's say if you start connecting with people actually, means like if I talk for Microsoft now, it has like many opportunities, and many of the interns, they are being referred. So you should start connecting with more people, and that would definitely help you.
Right.
And start applying means whenever you get an application, just start applying if you think that this particular profile is apt for you, or this particular
Yes.
company is apt for you.
Yeah, you should constantly keep on monitoring LinkedIn and Glassdoor
Yes,
and
of
or
course,
any
you
other
should.
on yeah or any other website wherein you can get the details about any openings for internship. So you should
Yes.
definitely apply and give the interview. That really gives
And
builds the confidence.
start connecting with people of different companies, because they are mentioning there like Adobe now, right now it's hiring for women who had a time break for the women, they had a break for let's say 2 or 3 the, that years due to some issues, or maybe their marriage or something, so they are hiring for that. So what do you do is just start contacting HR guys, or let's say other people at that particular company. Then you will get to know. I will say start contacting HR guys. They have sound knowledge of what is being done regarding this applications, and when are applications being open. That would definitely
Yeah.
help you.
Yeah, and to start with, you can also get in touch with the seniors who are working in these companies
Yes,
because
of
they
course.
are the right person because the seniors are always there to help the
Yes.
juniors. So you should start with them and then maybe grow your network. So let's move to the next question. Is English necessary for the interviews?
So actually, means you should know it, because in the corporate world, what we are doing is we are having interaction with many clients. We are contacting with like everyone across the globe. We have headquarters at different countries. So what is English is, English is a, it's a language, and actually what it does, it unifies everything. Means if you are speaking in Hindi, and the client at USA or your product manager at USA, he doesn't know it, he or she he they doesn't know it. So what English will do is it will just create a common path between both of you. So you should know, means you should talk in English. That is like very necessary, and it comes under communication skills. So you should have the knowledge, means you should definitely talk in English, like it's necessary.
Yeah, so basically the thing is if you're not good at it, you should try like you should before the interviews you should practice solving any question or
Practice for mock interviews. I would say practice for mock interviews, or try mock interviews with your friends. Means whenever
yeah.
you are getting hesitated, just talk with others, or let's say you
Yeah.
can talk with yourself in the mirror. That is fine. That will
Yeah, so
definitely improve.
yeah, so before even going for the mock interviews what you can do is you can because what you need to do is you need to explain your thoughts, you need to explain the question to the interviewer. So what you can do is pick any question and then just try to solve it and explain the solution you are implementing to your friend. So that way you will know
That
that what how you need to improve and basically how to get better at it. So it's
yes,
advisable to basically be good at
yes,
it,
it
but
is.
yeah, so you should practice and then
I
maybe
mean,
get better at it.
I mean,
But still,
I know,
yeah,
huh?
but
I know
still, if
that
you
there
are
are. Yeah, you go ahead.
Yeah, sorry. So but still, if you are not comfortable, or if you are short of words during the interview, you can definitely switch to Hindi and explain your thoughts
Yes,
and what you are thinking, because not being able to express in English is even worse than
it's not a
speaking in.
problem actually. It's not a
Yeah,
problem.
yeah, so you can switch
Actually, it's
there.
not a
And
problem. Means, but
yeah.
be good in English. I mean, you should communicate in English. It is the requirement actually. You should do it.
Yeah, so because when you will be doing job, you will be interacting with your teammates or
Yes, of
your
course.
client, or your who are sitting in different geographies in USA or other stuff. So they would not be knowing Hindi. So that's when you have to speak in English. So that's
Yes.
why it's better to be start practicing early. So I think that answers. So let's move. So will only doing Geeks for Geeks help?
Yes, it does help, but actually, for practicing, you require means for GFG, it's a one stop. I know that everyone knows it, but you should have like I'll say one thing. Means in one experience, I had this talk with my mentor, and what he said is there are many people. Means everyone in the room when he was interviewing other students at a particular campus, what was he was doing is he was asking questions, and everyone is like just ऐसे फटाफट बोलते हैं GFG के answers. Everyone is like skimming everything. Like every approach that is being mentioned in GFG, they are just telling it. So what he did is he switched, and he switched to code forces, and he picked a particular problem from code forces, and he asked it, and then there was a lag that people were not able to answer it. So it totally depends on your interviewer what he is up to and what is his mindset at that particular time.
Yeah, so by saying that will only doing Geek for Geeks help. So basically, Geek for
Of
Geeks is
course.
a universe. So you need to
Yes.
have a like directed like you need to have some sort of plan for your preparation. You can't just open the Geek for Geeks and prepare, because it's vast. There are like thousands and even more than thousands of questions, different areas. So you can't say that you can't do a complete Geeks for Geeks. So you need to have a directed preparation strategy. So just
Yes.
start with the basics, start with the theory part, go to the basic questions, and then gradually move to the medium questions. Also try to do the company specific questions, and then some topic specific questions. So this is how like you should be deciding what you need to do, and just mentioning, because I see like a lot of questions. So I also see it's is Geeks for Geeks enough for complete preparation. So if I say yes, then I don't really understand what exactly you mean, because Geeks for Geeks is
Yeah.
it's not a book or it's not a topic. It's a like complete, it's a universe. So I think you should be focusing creating a plan for you, and then try to follow it. If you are thinking to do it from Geeks for Geeks, try to create a plan such that you try to complete some links. So Geek for Geeks has different links wherein they have mentioned the top 100 questions for product based companies, and there are links wherein they have top questions for different topics. So this is how you need to decide what you need to do. If you need to go via company wise questions or topic wise questions. So you should think about it, and by just saying that yes, Geeks for Geeks will help, and then you just do 10 or 20 questions, I don't know from where, so that would not help. So I think
Actually, just focus on the concepts. That is the only key. If your concepts are clear now, you'll be able to solve problems. Or actually, it is not necessary that you should solve the problem. You are required to provide a solution, but it is not compulsory. You should be able. What they are trying to assess is how much you are able to understand this particular problem. How are you decoding it, and then what you are coming up with. It is not necessary that you should come up with a rigid solution that yes, this is the thing. It is not required. They are going to understand what is your thinking capability in terms of problem solving. So you should focus on concepts rather than just problems. Actually, it's like doing problems. It won't give you anything. Do the problems with like you should not like opening a particular problem. You should start to think how you're going to do it, and if within 5 to 10 minutes if you don't get any approach, then you can go to the article and just see what is being done, and then try to implement it, and then go to the solution. That is the only thing that is the only way you should proceed. Means rather than proceeding direct to the answers, that will not do any good to you actually.
Yeah, so let's move. So I'll go in third year and I want to learn DS and I'll go. Please suggest a free platform to learn from scratch. So I
Yes,
think
I have mentioned it.
yeah, so I think she's already mentioned that Geeks for Geeks is a good platform. You can start with it. So let's move. Right now I'm in seventh semester and from ECE background. I know Java and little bit data structures. I got rejected in most of the companies because of weakness at coding. What can I do as I have 1 year?
Yes, so for that you should have a, that's what I'm saying is you should start practicing. That is the only thing actually.
Yeah, so
That's
Anish,
where I said
yeah, so you already know that you are weak in coding, and that's where the company will assess you. So you should
yes,
start.
and
Yeah, you already know that where you are weak, and so it's not. There's no point. Like you already know what you need to do, and then just start with it and take out time, devote your time in coding, start learning data structures, practice them, read the theories first, clear your concepts, and then just start with the questions. So that's the only thing you need to be good at. So there's no other way or no shortcut. So you should
yes,
definitely start with it.
there is
There's
no
no other way.
shortcut to hard work. There is no shortcuts. You have to do
Yeah.
it. That's what I mentioned earlier. That data structures are algorithms. They are the foundation and they will take you to any level. Even for Google, for higher positions too, they have rounds which are based on means if a person they opt like they only want to like assess
So sweetie, your voice is breaking.
on the basis of data structures and algorithms. They are
You,
like totally happy with it, like they'll allow you to accept it. So you should have a sound knowledge of it.
yeah, right. So it's better now. So so let's move to the next question. So how can we show that we are good in DSA in our resume? Any other way than code chef ratings?
Actually, yes, you need to like means you can mention under achievement section. You can mention that you have this particular rating or you have done this particular thing, or let's say you have been to particular hackathons and you have done there. You can mention it there. But actually, they'll test you. Means if you say that you are good in DSA, if you're mentioning it, there is no point of it. They'll eventually they are going to test you. That is like the basic thing. That
Yeah.
is
So,
the initial
yeah.
thing that
So
is you have tested upon.
yeah. So Mridul, if you are like if you just mention it for the sake that your resume gets shortlisted, then if you other than code chef rating, what you can do is if you are practicing on Geeks for Gigs, you can mention your Geek for Gig profile link or any other platform link, or maybe you can also mention that you have done so many X number of questions from this platform on DSA, or other ways you can also mention your GitHub links. So if you are continuously committing your like DSA, like the codes which you are doing daily on a daily basis, or any frequency, and on your GitHub account you can mention your GitHub link, because you by going through your GitHub profile, the person can see that you are very active and doing data access questions regularly. So that's how he know that you are be practicing. So you would be good at it. So this is one way to mention in your resume. So let's take any other question. So can I mention marketing internships when I apply for SD role?
You can mention actually, you can mention any of the internships or any of the positions you have been to. You can mention it. If they require, they'll ask you regarding it. If they don't want, they won't ask. That's okay.
Yeah. So is Geeks for Geeks easy and medium problem questions enough for good internship?
So there is nothing as such as enough for something. I mean, if you know that, if you think that you are good at this particular set of problems, so you should start leveling up yourself. I mean, you should level up because you don't know what is going to be the next. Means we have no idea. Like for now, companies what they are doing is they are conducting an online coding round, and then they are going through interviews. And within years they'll switch to something like conducting a hackathon. If you are aware of JPMC, they are not coming for internships within our college this year for internships, and I'm telling for full time actually. For full time, what they did is they started a hackathon named Code for Good, and with that they selected people for full time. So actually, there's no such thing as being enough at something. You should level up yourself. That is the only thing.
Yeah. So next question is, does Adobe hire off-campus interns? So Shweta, yes, Adobe does hire, but only via reference. Okay, let's move. So I'm a third year computer science student. What should I do? Focus on development or and data structures?
Yeah, you have right now what time you have is not, you can focus on both, because as you know we are all stuck at home, so you have much time right now. You are not required to go to your college and let's say go through the materials for 12 hours or something. You have enough time right now, so you can do both. It depends on your pace and you can do both.
Yeah, so it depends on the priority. So if you're looking for clearing any internship in next 1 or 2 months, then you should first focus on DSA,
Yes, of
and
course.
then be good at it, and then clear the internship, and then while working
You can
there you
pursue
can start.
double.
Yeah, and while working there you can start any like development stuff, and then for some time continue with your development stuff, and then when you have 2 or 3 months from your placement, actual placement, then you can again move to the data structures. So this is
Yes.
how you can divide your time, and based on the priorities, select what you need to do. So I hope that that will answer the question. So can SD apply for product management? If so, please tell how.
SD for product management. I mean, product
So so
you
basically
can actually
share.
you can apply for both profiles. SD interns or product interns. You can apply for both profiles. It depends on the company actually. It varies from company to company. As Amazon, it offers for SD interns. Adobe, it offers product interns, product internship. So it depends on the company what it is it's offering to you. There is no such restriction that you can apply for this or you can't apply for this. There is no such restriction.
Yeah, so uh, that answers. So I think I don't see any more questions, and I think this was quite an informative session. The questions were answered well, and then based on your experience, the students will definitely start preparing or add to the preparation based on your what all questions you answered. So it was really great having you here and taking out time. So thank you so much for coming live and clearing doubts of the students. So I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Actually, I'd love to talk about things that I work with things and I would definitely love to share the experiences. It's
Yeah,
an
so
amazing.
that's really great that you believe in giving back. So that's really great. Keep up the spirit, and I wish you all the best for your placements and your future. So thank you so much. Bye bye.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Bye.